Ooh, alright. So I guess it's gonna be my first like official video. So the reason why I'm filming this. Alright. So just recently, not that long ago, I actually purchased digital camera. Except I actually intended on debating on buying a Canon EOS R, ERP, well Canon EOS RP, which is the same thing as the EOS R, just smaller, lighter, and I believe cheaper. So yeah, but I actually, because I was thinking of switching to full frame for a camera, because all the cameras I own, all the digital ones, like this Canon 80D that I'm filming on, or this T6 or T6i that I actually started with. Oh, yeah, these cameras, they're crop sensors. So basically that means the sensor that's capturing the image, like right here on the 80D, the what's capturing this image, it's actually smaller than what traditional, hold on a second, and what traditional film was. Uh, this film, actually, wait, hold on, I actually have some film, hold on, this size film. So that means it's bigger and captures more of a wider range. So I could have bought either the EOS RP or the EOS R, but I actually decided on buying this is a Canon 5D. It's actually not the newest, because this one's almost 16 years old. And even though there's a Canon 5D Mark IV, which is way better and takes better images any time of the day and has more megapixels, which means like if you mess up your taking the photo, you can crop in and not lose so much resolution. This one doesn't. I have 12 megapixels, which is almost the same as any iPhone now at this point, the same camera, except the sensor is bigger on this one. Why am I saying this? Is because I just bought it and I actually wanted to test it out, and I can't just put any lenses on here. I can't put this 10 to 22 millimeter uh, lens that's on this Canon 80D, because that is a lens made for crop sensors, which means it's meant to only focus on the part that's the sensor. This is a bigger sensor, so even if I were to put it in here, it would be most of it blacked out. So I actually had to either use this Sigma and this Sigma, even though it says Tamron, but I lost the lens cap. Sigma. This Sigma 35 millimeter 1.4. Well, actually not 1.4, it's a 1.8. I put an adapter in the back that actually, this little adapter, it covers most of the mirror, but it gives me that anamorphic flare, the kind of like the light streaks. I had to use this or this heavy lens. It's the 70-200 2.8 version 3. I actually been wanting this lens for so long, and I just got it last year during in the middle of the pandemic, which was not the most responsible thing I could have done with all my money. However, I saw an opportunity and I took it. So yeah, it wasn't a cheap one either. But again, what's the whole point of doing this? It's to show that this camera, it can still produce some amazing photos, because yesterday I actually took it at sunset. I mean, during sunset you kind of point your camera anywhere and it will pretty much look amazing no matter where you point it when it's at sunset. Yeah, I took it yesterday to see the dynamic range, to see how it captures light during that time of day, since it's like dark, bright. So I wanted to see how it actually does that. And one thing I did learn was that this at fast shutter speeds, which we're talking about like around 2,000 of a second, 4,000 of a second, 5,000 of a second, 8,000 of a second, this starts to vignette and it starts to look dark. The image starts vignetting around the corners, which is, I mean, not a big deal. Kind of makes it feel like a little vintagey, but yeah. So I kind of had to like bump up the shutter speed and kind of bring down the ISO, which is the sensitivity to the sensor. Also, another thing I learned is that with this kind of camera, you have to kind of overexpose. So when you're taking the photo in the inside, you're gonna see little numbers. You're gonna see some bars, and those bars, they go from it kind of looks like a temperature, like if you're checking the temperature, but it goes from 0 to -1 2, and then +1 2. You kind of have to overexpose, and overexposing by that mean going over the 0 to the +1 +2. You kind of have to overexpose just enough to capture enough detail in the shadows, which is in the dark parts, and the highlights, not enough to blow them up. But this camera actually does so well in in retaining the highlights when you're editing. So basically, if you bring it into your computer, your phone, wherever, and you bring down the brightness, you bring down the highlights, you can actually recover that better than you can recover the shadows, which is weird because on this Canon 80D, which I actually love taking photos, but I actually think my old T6i, the one that I actually used to take photos, or the first camera I actually got, I actually think this one kind of takes better photos, but I mean more in the sharp, like they're sharper as you take them. Even though it's the same sensor as this, but this one has more autofocus points. This one optically has 19, this one has 45, but I actually think this one's sharper, and I kind of like it also because it's smaller and lighter. And this 80D I actually prefer more for video. But yeah, this camera actually in the highlights, oh my god, amazing. I also took this one just to see how the difference in the image quality, and I took some photos here and there yesterday, just standing around in the bridge waiting for sunset. I was waiting because I was waiting, what is it called, a couple days ago I was at a friend's graduation party, and I was waiting, and well, not waiting, but I was I was outside and I was looking to the sky, and I saw that during sunset, I just noticed the gradient, like how it goes from orange, blue, purple, the sky. So I was kind of like thinking, you know what, I should take some photos of that. I don't know where, but I will. And just yesterday it was cloudy, perfect skies, perfect weather, and you could see the sky pretty amazing to me. Even I saw some people pull over and go take photos of the sunset. I mean, if that doesn't tell you it was a good day to take photos, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, and also, if you're wondering why a lot of my cameras are Canon, because I actually love their colors. I mean, you cannot go wrong with Canon colors. Yes, I've seen some people take pictures on Sony. Yes, they're okay. I love them because they're eye autofocus. So basically, it focuses on the eye, and the eye is the sharpest thing in the photo. However, I mean, sharpness over good color contrast. I mean, just plain better color. I mean, I'll take better color. Another reason, a big reason why a big reason why I bought this camera was actually because this camera is just simple, built intentionally just for photos. This camera does not take video. It doesn't take any kind of video actually. It actually doesn't even have a setting for video. This one just plain photos. Just look through the viewfinder. It doesn't even have a live view. When you put in a lens and you want to see like your preview, like what are you gonna take a photo of, like, hold up, let me show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, so on the live view, what I mean is this: you can't even see what you're looking at, where the picture is gonna be. You don't even have that. Just in time, camera died. As I was saying, yeah, you don't even have that on this camera. So you kind of have to rely on your eye to be able to take the photo and actually focus on it. Actually, hold up, let me switch batteries because this one's also gonna die right now. Yeah, it's kind of like going back to the basics, you know. Which actually now I understand why a lot of people actually prefer shooting full frame, because it kind of, all the lenses that I've been shooting at, since I've been shooting at a crop sensor, that means whatever focal length it is, I have to multiply times the crop that the lens is. So this 10 to 22 would be a 16 to close to a 35 millimeter on a full frame, and so on. Like the 70 to 200, that would be about, I believe, 112 millimeter, 320 millimeter. I'm not sure. I don't want to check my math. But yeah, so that's actually one of the reasons I actually wanted to buy. I wanted to use all my lenses to the full potential. Didn't want this to be a review, but I just kind of want to get this out of the way, and I'm probably gonna keep shooting. Actually, I'm gonna have this camera as my daily camera. One thing I forgot, since this camera actually came out 16 years ago, and it was actually built as one of the professional cameras for wedding photographers and portrait photographers and so on back then, and it's actually now, and since now there's actually a fourth generation, which is the 5D Mark IV, which is like $2,200. Well, this one, it's actually, I got this one for $236, and actually it's still feels brand new, original battery, original charger. So, and I'm actually surprised at how sturdy it feels. Actually, it feels like a tank. But and I've heard that these cameras can actually take and abuse, like, I'm not gonna try to throw it to the wall or something, but if in case if it happened, or it swung by accident, or somebody threw it to me by accident, I mean, I wouldn't be so devastated. And also, I mean, they're pretty cheap, so if anything happens, I'd probably get a backup fast. Didn't really want this to be a review, but actually I'm just impressed how good the quality on this camera is, and also just the kind of pictures actually it was able to take 16 years later. And I am gonna try to put some sample images somewhere here just to see if you guys can tell a difference. If you guys can tell a difference between this Canon 80D that came out in 2016, I know it's not the newest camera, but at 5 years, almost like 5 years ago it came out, and this camera that came out 16 years ago in 2005, or 16, yeah, 16 years ago. I'm gonna see if you guys can tell a difference, but probably you can't. But I mean, the quality, it still holds up. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. And actually, thinking of doing some portrait photos for my Instagram, for my profile picture, and I'm actually thinking of doing this, except that this I cannot remote. I have to focus it on the place where I want, and I have to put a timer. I cannot remote trigger this since it doesn't have any Wi-Fi like this camera, so I kind of have to focus on what I have to, on where I'm gonna be, or close to where I'm gonna be, and set a timer. So it's gonna be a tricky. So maybe I might try to film that, maybe, I don't know. I'm still weird. I still feel shy about bringing a camera anywhere. I mean, I have a GoPro. It's not gonna be so, I mean, filming like this, it's not as bad as filming like this. So I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I'm still debating on, but I don't know still. So alright, well, I don't know still. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I do want to continue making photography videos, and I would like for people to tell me if they want to know anything, or they want to see any concept or anything. I'll try to replicate it to my best ability, or if anyone wants to shoot, just let me know. I'll try to make time. I know it's summer, I have work, I mean, I gotta pay for all this somehow, but I will try my best. Thanks for watching, and if you like this and you want to see some of this content that I might try to put out in the near future, please subscribe, share it, dislike, like, I don't mind. Honestly, I'm just doing this because I set myself a goal, and now I'm trying to follow through. So thank you if you're watching, and if you made it this far. And if you didn't, I mean, still thank you. I came across you somehow. All right, peace, bye, or bye actually, or actually bye, or bye. I don't know how to end this.